So, with the coming of influencer boxing, Jake Paul has seized the boxing stage. And here's how he did it. Initially, Jake Paul had no such plans of a boxing career, but after defeating Deji and Anison Gibb, he formed his plan. Now, after defeating Deji, Jake Paul fought against Anison Gibb, and he completely dominated the fight and defeated Anison Gibb via first round stoppage. Now, some people began to admire Jake Paul that he's really capable of boxing, and then Jake Paul formed his plan of using this boxing stage to seize bigger opportunities. Jake Paul is a mastermind in choosing his opponents. The first example is of Nate Robinson. Now, how could an NBA player who just trained for 6 months defeat Jake Paul, who actually has had boxing experience? Now, you may think how Jake Paul's fights are watched by so many people. The reason is that Jake Paul has many haters, and everyone wants to see Jake Paul get knocked out. Now, wanting to see Jake Paul get knocked out makes the fight even more interesting, and thus, people watch his fights more and more. Secondly, Ben Askren, who is a retired mixed martial artist, and he got knocked out in the first round. Ben Askren is an elite wrestler, but he has no boxing experience. Nate Robinson and Ben Askren. Now, you could not become a professional boxer by just training for 4 to 6 months. You need to have experience. Ben Askren is an elite wrestler, but he has no boxing experience. Similarly, Nate Robinson and Jake Paul has had boxing experience. So, this was a wise decision of choosing these opponents. Now, his next fight is against Tyron Woodley, who's a 5 times UFC welterweight champion, but he has been in bad form. And he is a mixed martial artist and not a boxer. So Jake Paul has had more boxing experience than him. And Jake Paul could win this fight. Though it's gonna be tough for him, but he'll actually win this fight. Because Jake Paul has had boxing experience. So this was another wise choice. He's not fighting boxers because he will get KO'd. So he's just stepping up his opponents by fighting people who have acclaimed a great name for themselves in fields other than boxing. Now, this is some amazing strategy.